Hey everybody. So I was asked the other day in a comment whether or not I'd changed filming locations. And I wanted to take a minute and just let you know that that didn't happen. And I can tell you why. Actually, let me rewind that. I did. If you were following me from the very first video I ever put out, I was in a different room. I was still in the house, but I was in what used to be our now 20-year-old's room before he moved away. So I was in that room using it for my first ever videos. So if you go way back into the archives, because I'm about to hit 100 videos soon, you'll be able to see me in this little white room with kind of a weird ceiling. And the acoustics were kind of a little strange on it, but that's where I was. However, several months ago, I moved up to my study, and I've done a video real quick on the study before, but I didn't give you like the full tour, and I was going to do that really quickly here. The reason the question was asked was because I was sitting behind this desk, which is my desk, and it was how I was talking about some of the upcoming things on the channel, and it looks different. You're so used to seeing me behind this setup here that I've talked about before, and that changes the dynamic a little bit. Well, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take a couple of minutes, walk you around the room real quick, and show you the different components of the office. We're going to go ahead and start on this side of the room. And on this side of the room, you've got my books. And I've talked before on the channel, and I kind of went on a rant the other day about this idea of stuffing people in a box and saying you're either in the digital world or the analog world. Quite frankly, we all, or at least most of us, live in multiple worlds and multiple modes at all times. And this is where a lot of my analog stuff resides. You've got my diploma from Indiana Wesleyan for my doctorate up here at the top. This top shelf includes a copy of my dissertation, my life membership in the Alumni Association at IU, and a Bible my family bought me when I was younger, much younger. And then you've got some other things here, including a writing set that's a reproduction from Thomas Jefferson's at Monticello with a glass pen and a wood pen. The two things at the very ends are my steins. And the reason that I have these and why they're so important and near and dear to my heart is my mother actually hand painted them. So this one and this one are both rubbings. I do have others, and I've got a couple of work that she hand detail painted. So she was an amazing artist when it came to that kind of detail work. And you have my books, and my books are by category. You have everything from spiritualism and religion to business statistics and reference, histories and biographies. And we get the other side, you'll find some even more stuff because I definitely fit into that analog realm. And one thing I mentioned in the brief study tour that I did was this here. And this is my Thomas Jefferson revolving book stand. And it isn't one I bought from Monticello. They sell them for some crazy price. I mean, they're made out of cherry wood, so they are expensive to make. But this is actually a reproduction that my father-in-law made for me for graduating with my doctorate. It's made out of oak, it's rubbed down with tung oil, and it's made from the original specifications that Jefferson designed. It folds up into a cube. It's pretty neat. All right, we've talked about this setup in the back, so I'm not going to go through that again, but I do want to talk about the desk because that's what triggered this whole question of did I change spaces? And of course I didn't, but I love this desk. And you'll see my super notes are actually here on the desk. A lot of times what I'll do, and thanks to my wife for suggesting this design, if I'm working and I'm doing something on the computer, I'm facing out so that I can see nature in the window and I have plenty of ambient light. Then if I want to do something more focused, I can turn around. I still have the ambient light at my back, but I can be kind of inward and I can look at and write on this beautiful desk. A couple of things to note here. This was bought for me by our oldest son, Trey. It's a decanter set. I have these, which are my yes and no buttons. A lot of people ask me, why do you have a yes and no button on your desk? Well, my friend Charlie Barlow, when I worked for the Associated Colleges of the Midwest, gave me these as a gift one year for Christmas. So we had the Secret Santa, and he gave me these, and it says yes a bunch of different ways, and it'll say no a bunch of different ways. So the kids love it. We use it sometimes as a game buzzer, but it's also just fun to have. And this in the middle, and it may not come through on camera, But this is a little plaque that Melissa bought me when I graduated with the doctorate. And it says Dr. Here, let me see if I can pull it closer. And it says Dr. Edward W. Finn III. It's something that's one of my favorite things. Let's move on this way. Over here, this is kind of that secondary space. You have my bookshelf here at the top. I've got a Peruvian chess set. Both of these are hand carved, by the way, and fair trade. And I have a Polish set at the back, but I've set the Peruvian one out because I most recently got that when we were visiting Pella, Iowa, and went to a fair trade shop. A euchre set that was purchased. I've got all kinds of little knickknacks. This was something the library that I worked at gave me for surviving the COVID pandemic. We really went through all that all together. And then over here, you've got philosophies and classical literature. And then to show how I blend the analog and the digital, here's about as digital as you can get. Now, it's an older model, but this was a lovely gift from my wife, and it's the Oculus 2 headset. So this is about as digital as you can get, and then you've got all of these analog pieces. Another thing that you'll really notice is a lot of Lego. So Lego, our youngest son really enjoys making Legos, and he makes Legos as gifts for us during Christmas, birthdays, all kinds of things. And you'll see that he kind of tries to follow our interests as well. And we'll get to that here in just a minute. But so we've got Legos all over the shelf, things the kids have given me, you know, best dad ever, different things like that, that just make me feel good. Knickknacks, a family photo album. And then this bottom shelf right now is Melissa's, and she's been filling that up, and she'll probably move up one more and maybe take this whole bookcase, hopefully. But that's what we have right now. When we get to these two top shelves, these are neat because I had a friend when I worked at the IU McKinney Law School, and he made these little origami birds for our two youngest children. So I thought that was really neat. So I've kept them, and that was a long time ago, well over a decade. And then, of course, more Legos. But here at the top, you'll see a blend of Legos and model ships. Now the kids know, and I may be one of those rare people out there. I think there's more of us than we admit who like both Star Trek and Star Wars. And I grew up in the 70s, and I loved both of those. I watched Star Trek when I was younger, the original series, and then I watched the other ones. I've never gone to a convention, but I enjoy the science fiction realm. And so I have a bunch of these model die-cast ships that I've been bought over the years for gifts. And then you'll see handmade Legos that are meant to mimic certain Star Wars ships. And then I've got some Star Wars bobbleheads here at the back. Again, kind of a weird eclectic mix, but then again, maybe I'm a weird eclectic guy. The last thing that I want to show in the office, and I think this really kind of ties in again, this whole idea of I have my digital life over here, and I have my Supernote, which kind of travels between both. And I have a Kobo that I also sit and read with a lot. And on this side, I've got kind of a place to relax. If I want to kick back, if I want to read, whether it's a book on paper, whether it's out of my Supernote, whether it's through the Kobo, I have this really nice chair and ottoman to be able to just sit right by a natural light window. I have my degrees from Indiana University and my certificates. And then I've got the Google Home if I want to put on a little bit of music in the background. And I have this nice little magnetic floating globe that Trey bought me as a gift one year. Well, anyway, that's it. Welcome back to the study. I wanted to give you the full tour. I know that I gave you a little tidbit of one. I do want to say this was all recorded on my Samsung S23. And I'm going to add also my watch, because my watch was used to control the on and off for the video. And I think that's kind of a cool feature to have. If you have questions, let me know. Drop them in the comments. One more piece of trivia. If you can name 3 things about this t-shirt, you win bonus points. I don't know what the bonus points will get you, but you win bonus points. So it's a Duke Silver Trio. If you can name the show, the character from the show, and the actor who plays that character, I will give you some applause. Thank you again. Please subscribe, drop comments below. Love to hear more from you. If you have any suggestions for upcoming videos, as I said, I'm about to cross 100. Happy to hear them. Love to have your input. Have a great day.